Madam President, as you know, Gloucester has had more than its share of literary lions, from Kipling and Longfellow to the modern day with Sebastian Junger and Joe Garland. We have nurtured and brought forth the best of America's literary lights. But in the poetry of the 20th century, two men long associated with Gloucester were particularly noted, and I thought it well that we should recognize their contribution, particularly on this, the centenary year of the birth of the poet Charles Olson, who, as you know, was not a son of Gloucester, but derived and gave back much to this city. Vincent Farini found his inspiration in the grittiness of work and life along the waterfront, in the interplay of forces between workers and bosses, and the trials and pleasures of work, and later a kind of spirituality born of his experience as a frame-maker poet. Olson came here first to visit Vincent Farini, but was soon smitten by the place. In this place, especially in the wild and untamed quarter we call Dogtown, he found a place to pitch his literary tent and to be the Maximus to the world. Both of these men graced Gloucester in the 20th century, and they were Gloucester's gifts to our nation and the world. In respect of their great contributions, the mayor has issued the following proclamation, which I shall read and then present to Charles Olson and Henry Farini, representing their father and uncle, respectively. The proclamation is from the office of the mayor, and it says, whereas the late poets Vincent Farini and Charles Olson were renowned among the American poets of the 20th century, and whereas both poets spent much of their creative life in Gloucester, describing it in profound poetry, bringing fame and honor to the city and drawing upon it for their inspiration, and whereas this marks the 100th anniversary of Olson's birth, whose Maximus poems are considered a monumental work of epic poetry, and whereas Farini's chronicling of the lives of the ordinary working people from which he descended and the invisible ties that bind all people together caused many to describe him as the conscience of Gloucester, and whereas both Olson and Farini served as inspiration and mentors for generations of writers and poets who have since come to our city, and whereas Farini's former frame shop at 126 East Main Street has become the Gloucester Writers Center Incorporated, carrying on the social, political, educational, and literary traditions that he and Olson embodied. Now, therefore, I, Carolyn A. Kirk, Mayor of the City of Gloucester, do hereby proclaim that Charles Olson and Vincent Farini are henceforward to be known as Honorary Poets Laureate of the City of Gloucester, and it's given under the Mayor's seal and signature on the 28th day of September, 2010. Thank you, Charles, and for you.
Well, thank you very much.
With your kind permission, Madam President, Henry Farini has asked if he could read a brief poem written by his uncle.
It's very short. I know you guys have a lot of work to do tonight. 16 lines. But Vincent, this is in a chapter of one of his books called The Community of Self, called City Hall. And poetry is sometimes known as news, but this will be old news to everybody sitting up here. It's called Prologue. Captain Gloucester's at the hospital in the oxygen tent, staring up at conflicting visitors and fatal friends. Hamstrung by pocketbook positions, his breathing is against himself, and the fishes out of water silently wishing him dead. Near sightings omnipresent, yet the clear eyes are pumping him with the blood of a master plan, the protein of vision. This man at the wheels in City Hall, secure on a slippery deck, listening to the song of the fishes and ready for the ocean inside us all. Thank you for honoring Vincent and Charles Olson. It's a great honor. Thank you.
I would like to say that, speaking for my father, that I'm sure he would have greatly appreciated this. So, thank you all. Thank you.
Please introduce yourself to the folks that don't know.
My name is Ruth Collinson, and I'm humbled to say that I am immersed in Olson and Farini, just educating myself, and I'm very aware of their friendship and how they're celebrating with each other somewhere there. Tonight, we proclaim our gratitude to these two men, Charles and Vincent, who in so many ways brought Gloucester to itself, who each in his own completely smitten way elicited and studied, lifted and explored the beauty and the workings of this place that we so love, and brought to light the poetry that had always been. Tonight, we honor these two poets of life for life.